Top 5 trades no one knows exist but pays 6 figures in 2025. You think you know trades? You might not. I've been in this game for almost 3 decades, and I'm about to blow your mind about 5 trade careers that most people have never even heard of, but are quietly paying 6 figures. We're not talking about usual suspects here. No plumbers, no electricians, no HVAC. I mean respect to them, but you already know about them. I'm talking about trades so under the radar that your guidance counselor never mentioned them. Your parents don't understand them, and the people doing them are laughing all the way to the bank. Before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. Real quick, who am I to tell you this? Look, I'm 50 years old, not some kid making TikToks in his parents' basement. I started swinging hammers and bending sheet metal when I was in my 20s. Joined the sheet metal union, grounded it out as an apprentice, got my hands dirty for 14 years, worked my way up from the bottom, apprentice to journeyman to foreman. Then 15 years ago, I took the leap, started my own HVAC contracting business. That's 29 years, almost 3 decades in one trade. So yeah, I know a thing or two about what pays and what doesn't, what's worth your time and what's dead end, dressed up like an opportunity. And I'm here to tell you the trades everyone's talking about, they're great, but they're crowded. The ones nobody's talking about, that's where the money is. All right, number 1, ROV pilot. No, not a drone pilot. Close, but way cooler. ROV stands for remotely operated vehicle. These are underwater robots, and somebody's got to drive them. We're talking deep sea stuff here. Oil rigs, underwater construction, pipeline inspections, salvage operations, scientific research. You're sitting in a control room on a ship or an oil platform, piloting a robot hundreds of feet underwater, sometimes thousands. It's like playing the world's most expensive video game, except the stakes are real. The pay is insane, and you don't have to deal with toxic gamers screaming at you. Here's the thing. Entry-level ROV pilots, they're making $50K to $70K plus. But once you get experienced, once you're working offshore on an oil rig, doing deep sea work, you're looking at $80K to $150K plus, easy. And here's the kicker. A lot of these gigs are rotational. You work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or 28 days on, 28 days off. So you're making 6 figures and you're getting half the year off. Do the math on that. How do you get in? Most ROV pilots come from technical backgrounds, electricians, mechanics, military veterans with technical training. But there are ROV training schools, usually 3 to 6 month programs that'll teach you everything you need. Skills, hand-eye coordination, technical knowledge of hydraulics and electronics, problem solving, and you cannot panic under pressure. Because when something goes wrong 1,000 feet underwater, there is no turn it off and turn it back on. Oh, and you need to be okay with being away from home, and seasickness, and small living quarters with people who snore. But for 6 figures and half the year off, I'd sleep in a closet with a chainsaw symphony. Number 2, radiation therapist. Now before you click away thinking that's not a trade, hold up. This is highly technical work. You're operating complex machinery. You're working with your hands. You need certifications. You need training. It's a trade, just in a hospital instead of a construction site. Here's what you do. You operate the equipment that delivers radiation treatment to cancer patients. You're positioning patients, calibrating machines, following precise treatment plans, working with doctors and physicists. You are literally helping people fight cancer every single day. And the pay? $70K to $120K plus. Some experienced therapists in major cities, they're pushing $130 to $140K plus. Plus benefits, plus job security that's bulletproof. Because here's the deal. Cancer isn't going anywhere, unfortunately. And as our population ages, the demand for radiation therapists is exploding. The Bureau of Labor Statistics say the job is growing faster than average. Way faster. Look, I'm an HVAC guy. I fix air conditioners. Important work? Sure. But I'm saving lives? No. These folks, they're saving lives while making six figures. That's a different level. How do you get in? You need an associate degree, usually 2 years, from an accredited radiation therapist program. Then you get certified through the ARRT, the American Registry of Radiologic Technologists. Total time? About 2 to 3 years from start to finish. Skills? Attention to detail, compassion, technical aptitude, and emotional resilience, because you're working with cancer patients. Some make it, some don't. This is the hardest part of the job. But if you want to make six figures while making a real difference, this is it. Speaking of getting into the trade careers, hey, real talk for a second. If you're watching this and thinking, okay, these sound cool, but I'm still not sure which trade is right for me. I get it. That's actually the hardest part, choosing. I've got something that might help. It's called CourseCareers, and they just launched this AI career counselor named Coura. This thing is actually pretty cool. You talk to Coura, tell it about your goals, your interests, what you're good at, and it helps you figure out which trade career path fits you. It covers HVAC, plumbing, electrical, construction project managing, construction estimating, architectural drafting, supply chain coordinator, all the big ones. And here's the best part. Once CourseCareers suggests a path, you can start the free intro course right there. No commitment, no credit card. Just let me see what this is actually like. The intro course shows you what the job is like day to day and teaches you how to get hired within 4 to 12 weeks. Students across multiple industries have used this to break into high-paying careers fast, without experience, without a college degree, just training and hustle. I'll leave the link in the description and pinned in the comments below for you to check out. Talk to Coura, see what fits, because the right career, it changes everything. All right, back to the list. Number 3, construction project manager. But here's the catch, with a trade background. This one's personal for me because I've watched this path create millionaires. Listen, anybody can get a degree in construction management. Cool, good for them. But the project managers who really make bank, those ones running multiple $1-million jobs, they came up through the trades. They were carpenters, electricians, pipe fitters. They know what's actually possible on a job site, not just what some textbook says. And the knowledge, that's gold. As a construction project manager, you're overseeing entire projects from start to finish, coordinating subcontractors, managing budgets, dealing with timelines, solving problems, making sure everyone gets paid, making sure the building doesn't fall down. You're the quarterback. And the pay? 75 to 130K plus for most PMs. But if you're running big commercial projects, high-rise buildings, industrial facilities, 150 to 200K plus before bonuses. And if you start your own construction management firm, the sky is the limit. I know guys personally who started as carpenters, became PMs, started their own firms, and now they're pulling in $500,000 a year. It's not luck, it's a path. How do you get there? Start in a trade, any trade. Get your hours, learn the work, understand how buildings actually come together. Then you either get your PM certification, the PMP through PMI, or you get your construction management degree while you're working, or you just get promoted up because you're good and people notice. Timeline? 5 to 10 years from apprentice to PM. Skills? Leadership, organization, communication, problem solving, and the ability to stay calm when everything goes on fire, because something's always on fire. You need to manage egos, manage budgets, manage expectations. You're a psychologist with a hard hat. But man, if you're good at it, you're set. And here's the beautiful thing. Construction isn't going anywhere. We need buildings. We need infrastructure. We need people who can make it happen. Job security? Check. Six figures? Check. Respect? Check. This is the path lots of smart tradespeople take, and it works.
Quick break here. We'll check out which trade is good for you. You can access the free course in the link below.
Number 4, pile driver operator. I know what you're thinking. What the heck is a pile driver? No, not the wrestling move. In construction, a pile driver is a massive machine that hammers huge steel or concrete pillars, called piles, deep into the ground. These things are the foundation for bridges, high-rise buildings, docks, piers, anything that needs to be anchored deep. And running one of these machines, that takes skill. You're operating heavy equipment that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're working with precision. You're dealing with physics and geology. You're part of a project that literally shapes skylines. And most people have no idea this job exists. The pay? $60K to $90K plus for most operators. But experienced operators working on major infrastructure projects, bridges, tunnels, offshore platforms, $100K to $130K plus overtime. And the big union jobs, the OT is insane. I've heard of guys clearing $150K plus, $160K plus when they're on big projects with lots of hours. And here's the secret. There aren't that many pile driver operators. It's a specialized skill. So when big projects need you, they need you. That's called leverage, baby. How do you get in? Most pile driver operators start as a general laborer or heavy equipment operators. You work your way up. You join a union, the operating engineers or pile drivers local. You go through an apprenticeship, usually 3 to 4 years. You learn the equipment, the safety protocols, the engineering basics. Skills? Hand-eye coordination, mechanical aptitude, spatial awareness, ability to work at heights. Some piles go up before they go down. And patience, because this work is slow and precise. One mistake, very expensive. But if you like big machines, loud noises, and being part of projects that last decades, this is your jam. Plus, you get to tell people you're a pile driver. That's just a conversation starter right there. And number 5, the big one, air traffic controller. This is the most stressful job on the list and the highest paying. Let's just get that out there. You're in a tower or a radar room managing air traffic, planes landing, planes taking off, planes in the air. You're making sure they don't, hit each other. You're giving instructions to pilots. You're monitoring weather. You're making split-second decisions that affect hundreds of lives. This job is not for everyone. If you panic under pressure, this ain't it. If you can't handle responsibility, this ain't it. If you need a chill, low-stress gig, this definitely ain't it. But the pay? $60K to $80K plus starting out. Experienced controllers? $100 to $150K plus. Senior controllers at busy airports? $150 to $800K plus. And some top-level controllers, they're pushing $200K plus federal benefits, plus retirement, plus job security. The FAA has a hard time finding people for this job. Know why? Because it's hard, because it's stressful, because you're responsible for lives every single day. But that's also why it pays what it pays. Not everyone can do it, but if you can, you're golden. How do you get in? Apply through the FAA. You go through their training program, which is intense. We're talking months of training, simulations, tests, evaluations. You need to be under 31 years old to start. There are some exceptions for military. You need to pass background checks, medical exams, physical evaluations. They're not messing around. Skills? Ability to focus under pressure, multitasking, communication, quick decision making, spatial awareness, and nerves of steel. Look, I'm going to be real with you. This job has one of the highest burnout rates in any field. Some people do it for 20 years and retire early with a fat pension. Some people wash out in 5 years because it eats them alive. It's not for everyone. But if you can handle it, if you got that kind of mental toughness, you'll make 6 figures. You'll have job security and you'll literally keep the sky safe. That's not nothing. So there you have it. 5 trades nobody talks about that pays 6 figures. ROV pilot, radiation therapist, construction project manager with a trade background, pile driver operator, air traffic controller. Here's what these all have in common. They're real, they're in demand, and they don't require you to go 100K into debt for a 4-year degree. They require training, dedication, skill, but they're accessible. You know what I learned in 29 years of the trades? The money isn't doing what everyone else is doing. The money is in going where there's need, but there's not enough people. These 5 trades, there's desperate need, not enough people. Do the math. And look, I love HVAC. It's been good to me. It's paid for my house, my cars, my life. But if I was 20 years old again, knowing what I know now, I'd seriously look at every single one of these, especially that ROV pilot thing. That's cool. The point is, options exist. Good options. You just got to look beyond the obvious. Don't let anyone tell you that you need a traditional degree to make 6 figures. Don't let anyone tell you that trades are a backup plan. These are the plan. And here's the beautiful thing about trades. You can't outsource them. You can't automate them. Well, not yet. You can't replace them with AI. Somebody's got to drive that ROV. Somebody's got to manage that construction project. Somebody's got to keep those planes from crashing. That somebody can be you. You just got to decide. If this video helped you, smash that like button. Seriously, it helps more than you think. And if you want more unfiltered trade career advice, if you want real talk about what works and what doesn't, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm dropping videos every week. No BS, no sugarcoating. Just real information from someone who's lived it. Check out that CourseCareer link in the description if you need help figuring out your path. Talk to Coura, see what fits, and drop a comment below. Which of these 5 trades surprised you the most? Or better yet, which one are you going to look into? I read the comments. I respond. This is a conversation. All right, one more thing before I go. You know why pile driver operators never get invited to fancy dinner parties? Because every time someone asks what they do for a living, they have to explain for 20 minutes that they don't wrestle for the WWE. True story. I know a guy. Peace out.